I'm Jemma Baskeyfield and I work at Pottery. I'm our company historian and website manager. As a child growing up in the area of Stoke-on-Trent, I had my maternal grandmother lived with me, and she, as lots of older people do, tell lots of stories of their past. And so she used to really bring to life the area of Burslem, the area of Stoke-on-Trent, and the buildings and the faces, to the point where I used to absorb all those stories. And so when I walk around Burslem today, even though some of those buildings are older and dilapidated, I can hear those voices and you know, see those faces, and the buildings really come to life. So heritage is really important. I think it helps us understand who we are. I'm very lucky to work at Middleport Pottery, which is the home of Burley ware, and we're in this fantastic building which really is a record of all the stories, all the people who've worked within it, and I, as a part of the team, come to enjoy and work within that building every day. So I have a lot to do with heritage buildings, certainly. Heritage is important to everybody. I think it's a foolish person that wipes away the past and doesn't understand the lessons that we can learn from heritage. All of these old buildings have so many stories to tell, and we really need to take those on board, and it helps us understand who we are today and where our future could be going by understanding the past that's gone before us. So heritage is important not just to people who are interested in history like me, but to everybody. Obviously, economically, why destroy the buildings that we've already got around us? They're sturdy, strong buildings. It's silly to knock down buildings that can have another purpose and that can have a use just for the sake of it. So I think to reuse old buildings, as we've got at Middleport Pottery, it's a perfect example of a building that can have the same use and alternative uses brought to it and can have a future. So reusing buildings, heritage buildings especially, I think can benefit all of us. Stoke-on-Trent has had a decline, certainly during my lifetime and earlier still. A myriad of examples in Stoke-on-Trent, in Burslem directly, of buildings which have been left to decay, often listed buildings which have lost their purpose, lost their way, they're unloved, and they end up crumbling into the dust. And I've mourned many of those buildings at Stoke-on-Trent, but I'm lucky enough to play a part in a success story of a listed building which does have a future, which, thanks to the Prince's Regeneration Trust and to the team at Burley and to various other parties, we have a package which will give a future to a heritage building. So I think that's very crucial, and I'm very proud to be a part of such a story. I feel really positive about Middleport at the moment and about Burslem, and obviously growing up in this area and now working in this area. There is a lot of negativity in the area because people have been at the bottom of this ebb of decline and negative feeling, and I believe I can genuinely see the sparks of a bright future. And it's difficult to see, and we've had very hard times here, and people often travel out of the area to find work or move out of the area because the ceramics industry has been so depleted in the last 100 years. And I genuinely feel that there's businesses starting up, there's people who are interested. Getting the Prince's Regeneration Trust into the area has been a big step forward, and I honestly have a very optimistic look to the future, so I hope it will be fulfilled. I think generally people have the right approach to heritage, the you and me on the street type of person. I think what we need to do to change attitudes is perhaps with local government, who sometimes don't always have the right approach to heritage buildings. As I've said, it seems churlish to destroy buildings when they can have a purpose. It's about finding those purposes, diversifying building uses. We've got so many buildings that are listed and kept, but maybe they're kept as museums. And there's only so many museums we can have in this world. But to have a building like Middleport, which still has that original intended manufacturing business within it, but also is welcoming in new businesses, that is, in my opinion, the way for heritage buildings to survive. And they are the lessons that we see here that I think local government should learn, certainly. I support the Prince's Regeneration Trust because they take the past of heritage buildings and the possible future of heritage buildings, bring the two together and create a here and now which is for everybody to enjoy.